Hi, my name's James, and today I wanted to finally make a video that I have been thinking of making for quite a number of months now, since being diagnosed with two new medical conditions, um, both of which are invisible, not a condition that you can physically see when looking at me. Um, And I just wanted to talk a bit really today about how it has been so far living with these invisible disabilities. Not just for me, but really for also for those around the world, really, that live every single day with completely debilitating illnesses that are invisible. And I really just want to talk about how it feels, and try and raise some awareness around um, how we should never assume that just because somebody might look all right on the outside, that they're actually okay on the inside. Um, like I said, my name is James. I'm normally a very happy, bubbly, active person. Love spending time with friends and family, going out to work and just making plans. I'm always, one of the friends in the group that likes to plan ahead and get things in the diary. Um, but unfortunately, since being diagnosed with two new medical conditions back in September 2020, that's something that most of those things are kind of things that I'm no longer. Um, and I hate, to say it, but I was diagnosed with two conditions last year. One called vestibular migraine and another called Pppd. And both of these conditions are neurological and vestibular disorders that basically affect a lot of your normal day-to-day sensations. It's kind of it really, these conditions interfere with your senses. It's a real sensory overload, I suppose, or kind of a malfunction. Basically, it means that every day since then, I think we're in 10 months now and counting, I have a number of symptoms that include a constant permanent dizziness, a feeling of not being present in the moment ever, um, loss of memory, a feeling of being completely spaced out, which is coupled with really the feeling of not being here. It's a very hard symptom to describe, but I heard someone describe it as derealization, which basically means you feel like when you're in any situation with friends or out in, like, just going to the shops or doing something even as basic as watching TV, you just feel like that moment isn't imprinting on your brain, and you don't really see any further than kind of this around you. um, it also comes with issues with vision, so my vision is extremely blurry a lot of the time, well, all of the time, as well as being extremely fuzzy, like an old like an old TV that's got like a black and white, like white noise type thing, like someone's put a filter of that over my eyes, with double vision as well. Um, a constant feeling of all over body fuzziness, which is is the hardest symptom to describe, but it feels like my limbs just are drained completely of energy, and the sensation that takes over makes you just feel like you're gonna just collapse into a ball. Um, there's a permanent pressure in my ears, tinnitus, a heavy pressured feeling in my head all the time. It's also there are also um, symptoms like brain fog, so forgetting things very easily, or being very confused, or not being able to articulate yourself, or even speak properly. Sometimes I can't find words, or I get words muddled up, or I just can't even construct a sentence even on the worst days. Um, Alongside all of these symptoms, and I'm sure there are symptoms that I've missed because there are so many, but alongside those symptoms that are present all day, every day, so you just don't feel like you're here, you don't feel like a person, and even just the most basic of movements makes you feel like you are going to fall, or you're going to be sick, or you just don't have any strength to do anything, the most basic things. The stress, the anxiety, the depression, it is just all consuming, and it's completely accompanied by by the darkest thoughts I think I've ever had in my life, where you don't genuinely feel like you can go on, because you just feel like there's no quality of life if you can't enjoy the most basic things. I'm not ashamed to say that over the past 10 months, on a new number of occasions, I have gotten closer to the point of following through with some of the dark things that I've been thinking, to give myself some kind of relief from the torture that I'm living through every single day. And I recognize, and I want to acknowledge, that I have conditions that are invisible and are not a death sentence. I'm not being told that I have an illness that, is going to kill me. But at the same time, the conditions I have are extremely difficult to treat and are non-curable. And that makes the future very difficult to consider in a positive way, when you don't know whether you're ever going to have any kind of relief, or ever going to find a drug or a treatment or anything that will make you feel better and mean that you can get back to your life. I haven't been working since September 2020, and I have really, really struggled with that, because I feel like my purpose in life has been taken away from me. I loved what I did, and I bought a house last year. So now, not working, not having an income, I live on my own. So supporting myself in the future is going to be so incredibly difficult, and it's really scary to think what will happen if I can't work, and I can't find a job that I can physically do. Even now, right now, I'm just looking at a phone and I feel like I'm on a boat, like I'm in water that's splashing around me. I can see 2 or 3 phones in front of me. There's white spots everywhere. My body feels like it's shivering and shaking all the time. And this is how it feels permanently. And I kind of really I also want to talk a little bit about how other people can help, but also, I don't want to use, maybe not the word hinder, but not help, I guess, to not help people like me, to feel better. I'm extremely fortunate and lucky that I have a wonderful network of friends and family around me, and a small group of them who understand, on some level, what I'm going through. My best friend, Lucy, has a number of chronic, invisible disabilities, and she pushes through every day, and I find her completely and utterly inspiring every day. Because to have someone there that understands what it's like to go through these kind of things is actually really, really important, because otherwise you feel so misunderstood, and like everyone kind of looks at you and assumes that you're fine because, hey, you don't look ill. My mum is another person, in my life that has so many illnesses on her plate that she battles through every single day, but she still goes to work. My best friend, she still goes to work, and they push through, and I'm so proud of them for that. And I'm making this video today for people like them as well, who I know also become frustrated by those around us that don't seem to understand. And I have friends that say they understand why I must feel the way that I do, negative and lost and hopeless and helpless, when medication isn't working, when medication makes you feel worse, when it does nothing, when day after day after day you wake up and you think, is today going to be the day that maybe I start to feel better? And then one day you feel 10% better, but the next day, or maybe even for a week, you feel 10% better, and you actually let yourself go to a place of positive thinking, wow, is this going to be the week where I start to feel better? And maybe the universe is just going to give me a break, and it's just done this to me to make me feel more grateful for the things that I've lost and not take life for granted. But then the second that you feel that hope, you wake up days later feeling worse than you've ever felt before. And that is the space where I'm in at the moment, where this time last week, I actually felt like I was like 20% better. And that doesn't by any means mean that I felt well, but I was getting there, and I really was thinking, oh my gosh, like maybe this is it. And then a few days ago, I woke up, and ever since then, I feel probably worse than I felt in a very, very long time. And that's saying something because I feel like crap all the time. But today, I just thought enough is enough, and I need to really bite the bullet and just talk about this. Whether people are out there watching and listening or not, this is an outlet for me, but also I really hope that there are people out there that, if there's anyone out there going through the same as me or similar, regardless of what medical condition it could be, or mental illness or mental struggle even, it's not necessarily about illness, but any kind of struggle physically or emotionally, that you can relate in to this video and how I'm kind of saying that I feel about my life day to day. I was saying about my friends, that say that they understand. And like I said, I have some that really do, and some that I'm sure think that they do. Um, but what I will say, and this isn't just about friends, but this is about everybody in general, or a lot of people in general. One of the most awful things that you can say to somebody that is going through who suffers with an invisible medical condition, um, is, wow, you look fine today, like you must be feeling better. Or, oh, I saw on Facebook that you checked in to a shopping centre, or, well, a restaurant or a shopping centre, so that must mean that you feel much better. Or, you were smiling in a photo the other day on your new profile picture on social media, that must mean that you feel better. Or even things like, oh, you said you're still not going to work, like, couldn't you even just try and just see? These things are things that you just cannot say to people like me, to people who are going through any kind of struggle like me. Because what so many don't realize is that the effort it takes to try and smile, the effort it takes to push yourself to try that few days at work, the effort it takes just to get up, get yourself dressed and showered, get yourself to the supermarket to get your week's worth of shopping and go home, is more exhausting than anything I've ever experienced. Today, I've come to stay with my parents for a week because, to be quite honest, I feel so incredibly fragile. I don't want to be by myself. And even today, this morning, my mum went shopping, and I said, I'm going to come with you. I want to come with you. I'm going to force myself to go. And I got home, and I slept for an hour, which I don't do very often. And I've just felt completely disgusting ever since. And that to me is something so basic, to go and get some food shopping. But the effort it takes is unreal. And the frustrating thing is that I could bump into somebody that I know in that supermarket, and they might know that I'm not well, but go, oh, I see that you're here, and oh, you smiled when you saw me. You must be feeling better. And that is so not an assumption that you can make. One thing that or a saying that I constantly think about is that I really believe that it's okay not to be or feel okay, but it's not okay to assume that somebody is okay. That's basically it. And another frustration that I feel is that friends that know what I've been going through for so many months, I cherish and I love and value all my friends, but the friends that know how long this has been going on, and they know I haven't been able to to socialise, and I haven't been able to go to work and do so many things that I want to do. Not hearing from friends is really is upsetting, you know, for weeks on end, because you really do think that you've got a number of close friends, and then you realise, are they really that close if they still expect you to make more of the effort to contact them? And I believe friendship is a two-way effort. There should never be one side making more effort than the other, unless I feel in a situation like this, where really I feel that if I was on the opposite side and I had a friend that was going through what I'm going through, I'd be checking in regularly, mate, and not, you know, bombarding them with how are you today, every single day, but checking in, acknowledging that, you know, I know that you're still feeling like rubbish, anything I can do. Hearing from friends once a month or once every 6 weeks doesn't to me say that they really give a shit about what I'm going through. And maybe that's the wrong thing to say, but the point of this video is to talk about how I feel and how I know so many people going through similar things feel as well. And what I will say to my friends or anyone that even just knows me, that it is, you know, I'm not saying, please contact me and support me every single day, but to my nearest friends that don't and haven't been making that effort, I just want to say that I'm disappointed, you know, because it hurts, and that's the key thing here. It hurts, and feeling that pain on top of everything else and all the other sensations and emotions and physical symptoms that I feel 24 hours a day, every single day, that on top of it, it just adds more poison to this recipe of feeling so horrible every day, physically and emotionally. And with COVID as well, you know, 2020 was meant to be the year for everyone, right? Everyone was saying 2020 is my year, 2020 is the year that something big's going to happen. And hey, something big did happen, but it wasn't something positive necessarily when it comes to COVID. Unfortunately, in my situation, I also became really ill during that year as well. I also acknowledge that there are a lot of people during 2020 that far worse things happened to than just being ill. You know, people that became seriously critically ill, people that lost their lives and lost loved ones. I was one of the unfortunate people that lost a dear member of our family because of COVID. What I struggle with now is that whilst we are coming to the end, hopefully, of being locked down and having all these restrictions, I also feel that there are so many people, again, that know me well and that are close to me that don't necessarily really think about what they say. Things like, wow, I can't wait for a few weeks' time just to go back to the way life was before COVID. And I don't think that they realise that that for me is so scary, because for me, my life isn't going back to the way it was before COVID. Everyone else that I know will go back to going out to theatres, to cinemas, to restaurants, to bars, to nightclubs, to theme parks, to all these fun places that I used to go with my friends and we all used to go and love going to. They will go and continue to do that, and I won't be able to because of my medical conditions that will prevent me from being able to do those things. And that for me is just one of the worst things about what I'm feeling and what I'm going through every day, that I won't get my life back. And my best friend Lucy, who, like I said, has a number of chronic illnesses too, put it so perfectly to me when she said what I was feeling at my lowest points was that I was grieving for my old life. And that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying very hard to remain strong during this video because I want to be strong for me and for everyone else out there. But you do genuinely grieve for the life that you had before these things happened to you that then put a stopper on what you think are really basic day-to-day things, like going to work, seeing your friends, being able to make plans and look forward to going away on holiday, or all these things. And I get it right now, you know, people are frustrated because they can't make plans to go on holiday, but people in situations like mine have more than that. You know, we wish that we could make plans to go on holiday, knowing that in the future, when we can go on holiday again, we will also feel well enough to go. But actually, the first issue is not being able to make plans because you don't know how you're going to feel on that day. Not, oh, you know, I'm not going to make plans for holiday because I can't go to this certain country. There's another barrier to break through before that point. So what I will say to anybody that's saying I'm low and I'm depressed because I can't go on holiday, first, please feel lucky and blessed that you financially can afford to go on holidays because so many can't. But secondly, feel lucky and blessed and grateful that you are in a position where you are physically able to go and do those things. Please see perspective and realize how lucky and wonderful it is to be able to go and do something that you consider to be a general part of life. Going on holiday is a day-to-day part of life. Well, it's not for everyone, and it's certainly not for me anymore. And it frustrates me, like I said, when people say about going back to life the way it was before COVID, because to be quite honest and quite frank, I am jealous and resentful of those people. And I hate to say the word resentful, but I do resent people that are able to go back to their life the way it was before, because I won't be able to, and I will be jealous and sad that I can't do those things. Even if COVID wasn't around, you know, even when I watch the TV, I see people in TV adverts or on TV shows doing normal things, and I think they're able to do that. Like, I was a dancer. I couldn't even imagine dancing now. Even just moving my body in a looking left to right in the smallest way makes my body spin and feel disgusting, let alone doing anything that is remotely more mobile. I would love to dance again and, you know, take up that hobby, or even just go to a nightclub and dance again, like we all want to be able to, or so many of us who enjoy that want to be able to when we are able, when when nightclubs reopen. And I'm going to be so sad for myself and feel and probably pity myself a little bit when I know and see friends going out and doing that, and I just want that for me more than anything, but I can't do it. But I used to be able to, and now I've got this barrier and this restriction that's stopping me from enjoying those things because of something that has been presented to me that is of no fault of mine, and has it just appeared. These symptoms just appeared and they are not going anywhere. And I'm scared about losing my job. I'm scared about losing my home. And I'm scared about losing the pleasures in life. I have amazing family and amazing friends. And I have amazing medical specialists that are helping me get through this in all areas, you know, neurology and ENT and physiotherapy, a psychiatrist, all people that are really helping to keep me supported. But it sometimes it very regularly is difficult to see through see past each day when you don't know every day how you're going to feel, and you feel selfish for considering taking your own life, for example. You feel selfish for thinking that, because why would I want to do that to my friends and family and cause them pain by doing something like that? But at the same time, how else can you end such extreme permanent suffering? And that is another battle on top of everything else that's added onto this plate. And it's the vast majority of the time completely and utterly unbearable. Now, I know I probably just waffled on a lot about how I'm feeling, my frustration, my worries, my you know, just my fear of everything, really, going forward. Am I ever going to get better? Am I ever going to be able to do the things in life again that I did before so freely and without any thought that it could ever be taken from me? I've learned I mustn't take for granted the basic things in life, like having a job and being able to do it, like being able to just go for a walk and enjoy myself with friends, like being able to go to the shops and go to a shopping centre and whiz around the shops and buy clothes and go to a restaurant, go to a cinema, go to a theme park, like I said, go to a busy bar and just enjoy the environment. Those are things that I always took for granted that I never ever will again, should I ever be able to do them again. And I really hope that I can. But like I said, this video is really about raising awareness for those that maybe don't understand what it's like for those that have any kind of issue that is invisible. Because I don't want to say a medical condition or illness, but related personally to me, they are medical conditions. They are two conditions that cannot be fixed, not permanently or not 100%. It's a long road to find a treatment plan that will maybe ease symptoms, but it could take a long time. And that is something that I feel frustrated by, because I feel like I've already lost so much time. If it's going to happen, hey, it's going to happen during lockdown. At least the world wasn't moving, at the usual pace around me, and I wasn't going through the additional struggle of watching everyone around me go about their daily lives. But do you know what? I don't want the world to not go about their daily lives. I want everyone to do everything they should be able to do. I of course I do. But I have to kind of grab at any kind of comfort that, at least if this is happening to me, it's happened at a time in our lives where I feel like I'm not being left too far behind at the pace that everyone else is going. But soon we're going to get back to our normal lives and I'm going to feel left behind. And that is going to feel very difficult. Like I said again, this is really about awareness, asking everyone around to please not assume that because somebody is smiling that they're okay, or because somebody is walking that they're okay, or that they have put a picture on social media that they're okay. Like I said, I feel like it's okay for me not to be okay as much as I hate it, but it's not okay to assume that someone is okay based on what you see. Please remember that every single day, and please think of people. It's not about thinking about me, but I know that there'll be so many people out there that want to vent these frustrations publicly that don't have the physical strength to do it, the mental strength to do it, because it has taken me months to get to the point where I just want to sit here in front of my phone and just rant. And I'm sure so many people have turned off. And if you have, then that's fine. But if you've taken away anything just to be kinder and more understanding to those of us that have these struggles that you cannot see, please just remember this video and just be a little bit more aware of how others might feel, regardless of how they look, sound. People might say to me now, well, you look all right on the video, you were smiling, you were laughing. It doesn't mean that underneath the factory of all of the cogs and everything isn't malfunctioning massively, to be quite honest. And when I press the stop button, I guarantee I just will have to be quiet and still for a while, because it's taken a lot of effort for me to do this. And I really hope that my friends, my family, will at least watch this and maybe have a bit of a better understanding, but I really hope that for others going through anything similar, that this will help them too. And again, I'll say it, it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to assume someone is. Thanks.